You're live with me, Tamam Mutze, from our headquarters in Moscow. This is RT International. Now to our breaking news. Estonian Foreign Ministry has said the leaked phone call between EU's Catherine Ashton and Estonian Foreign Chief is authentic. The conversation features staggering revelations, saying the snipers who were shooting at both protesters and police in Kiev were allegedly hired by someone from the former opposition. RT's Peter Oliver has more.
Well, what we've heard is a leaked phone call between Catherine Ashton, the head of foreign policy at the EU, and the foreign minister of Estonia. Now, during this phone call, it does seem that the foreign minister of Estonia is telling Catherine Ashton that those that fired those lethal shots that killed so many people just behind me on Independence Square, that they were firing at both sides and that they were also not taking orders from Viktor Yanukovych, the deposed president.
All the evidence shows that people who were killed by snipers from both sides, among policemen and people from the streets, that they were the same snipers killing people from both sides.
Well,
it's the same handwriting, the same type of bullets, and it's really disturbing that now the new coalition, that they don't want to investigate what exactly happened, so that there is now stronger and stronger understanding that behind snipers, it was not Yanukovych, but it was somebody from the new coalition.
This phone call could provide very severe changes to the EU's attitude towards what's going on here in Ukraine. Now, I've seen senior representatives from EU government telling the people of Ukraine, telling the people of Independence Square that they should rise up and they should be trying to change their own government. If it turns out that those shots that were fired that killed so many people on both sides were ordered by those people that have taken government right now, well, that could have serious repercussions. Well, we have heard remarks from some senior diplomats from elsewhere. Victoria Nuland, one of the most senior US diplomats, referred to the EU in, well, very disparaging ways with regards to their treatment of what's been going on here in Ukraine. But what it does seem, though, is that if this turns out to be the case, the EU's attitude towards what's happening here will most certainly have to change.
RT's Peter Oliver reporting from Kiev there. Earlier, my colleague Marina Jashi discussed those astonishing revelations and the possible repercussions with foreign affairs expert Mark Sleboda and Elke Feeman from the civil rights movement Solidarity. Take a listen to this.
I think it's not, in a sense, surprising, these kind of revelations, because you have seen an incredible amount of propaganda and playing down the so-called protests on Maidan as peaceful. What we are seeing in Ukraine is nothing else than a putsch supported by Western powers, which is primarily geopolitically motivated and especially directed against Russia.
We also have in the studio with us Mark Sleboda, who is international affairs expert, and let's now bring him in and all of us together listen to another soundbite here, which came from John Kerry. I mean, specifically, remember, Mark, he was saying yesterday, describing the protests in Ukraine, saying that the people were protesting against the tyrant. Let's now listen in.
Brave Ukrainians took to the streets in order to stand peacefully against tyranny and to demand democracy. So instead, they were met with snipers who picked them off one after the other.
How does it all sound to you now?
This is a game changer. This casts everything that has happened over the last 10 days in doubt. It to a certain extent, it certainly vindicates Russia's position in all of this. But I think more importantly than that, it shows a degree of murderous criminality among the people within the new regime. And it also, I think in my case, shows a strong degree of moral bankruptcy and indeed a level of sociopathy on behalf of these EU leaders who obviously knew about this, were discussing this, and then went on to talk about forming a government with these people. And when we hear about a possible murder by these putsch leaders of their own people and of the police, the young men in uniform. And the only comments from Catherine Ashton are, gosh, and that's interesting. And then she goes on to brush it aside.
RT contacted Catherine Ashton's office about the revelations, but her spokeswoman told us they don't comment on leaked conversations.